No, it wasn't me. I think it was Zach. Zach gave me a cigar from my dad because I don't really smoke cigars, but I always bring a cigar from my dad because he's 77.
I gave you one last year.
Yeah, last year you did.
Yes, that's the one from 0 Hour. I got that from New York from a Mexican guy. I paid him cash.
Yep, it was the one. That was the one, and he thought it was he was quite happy with it.
Yeah, they're not bad. I bought a bunch of them.
Nice. With that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 411 of the Maritime Paintball Podcast, coming to you live on 97.9 FM CHSR in Fredericton, New Brunswick, as well as on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So if you are listening to us on the radio and you want to hear us, and you want to see us, you head over to Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Look up Maritime Paintball Podcast. You will find us. Gentlemen, my name is Brad Riddell, and with me, as always, is
your king of paintball. Pleased as punch with himself, and for some reason, listening to the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Oh, excellent.
I need some Gordon Lightfoot tonight to, listening to Led, our wonderful guest, talk about paying paintball at over 40. What do you know about being over 40, sir?
For the record, I'm not 40 yet. So it might be a little bit of fake news here, but I'll do my best. I will be turning 40 on Christmas.
Oh, good.
Super excited.
Good. Wait,
I think we all know the answer to that.
You're a Christmas baby?
I am.
How did that feel growing up? Did you have really terrible birthdays?
Really sucks. None of my friends want to come to my party because apparently they had plans on Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, come on, who has plans?
Yeah. So that sucked. For real. It's flashbacks right now. I'm not upset. I'm a little bit sad right now, but anyways,
slightly a little bit bitter.
I've been thinking about it. So I've been thinking about playing different, especially after D-Day. I had a little back injury at work, and I was like, I couldn't play for a couple of weeks. But then I started watching some video from D-Day, and I saw the way I was playing, and I was like, that's not a way I should continue playing. Running around, jumping around, playing like I was a kid again.
What's wrong with that? Young at heart, man. Young at heart.
Yeah, but your body might disagree. You're kind of more vulnerable at this age, so you gotta play a little smart. You gotta play different.
Okay.
And I learned a lot from Wolf, to be honest. He would tell you, always stretch before the game. I started doing that too. It helped. Drink a lot of water. Change the way you play. You don't need to be the most, athletic guy. You can, use your experience from playing over, more than 10 years. Capitalize on young kids' mistakes. A lot of times they play really aggressive and they pay the price. So be that guy. Be smart. And this might shock a lot of people, but you might try speedball instead of racquetball because speedball is actually easier on the body. Good example, Grumpy Old Man in Ottawa. They play on a turf field. Super friendly for the knees.
I can see, and lots of breaks, right?
Yeah. Well, if you're playing a tournament, you don't have a lot of breaks, but if you're playing just practice, you do have a lot of breaks. Plus, you're not running long distance, you're not climbing anything, you're just moving from one bunker. Yeah, you're moving.
You're not tripping on roots.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not tripping on. You're not stepping in holes and blowing out your knee like a certain nightmare.
Hey, you can play. You guys both play. Speedball. You can be a back player. You can play on the D side. It's not very difficult, and it's a lot of fun.
Struck's throwing some shade here.
Who's throwing shade?
Looks like Struck.
Lazy farmer.
It's not. That's a lazy joke. So we're going to ignore that one.
It's been a lazy farmer and a hate farmer.
The hate farmer.
The hate farmer.
I think the hate farmer is a good idea. I think it's going to be fun to see where you go with something like that. You evil, rotten human being.
I do hate with love. So,
do you?
But you know what?
Do you love with hate?
There's a necessary amount of what's the word I'm looking for? Roasting. There's a necessary amount of roasting that an individual requires to grow as a person.
Yep, I agree.
Right? You got to poke fun, man. You got to poke fun. I mean, the what was on Netflix there? Most of what was his name?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Oh my god,
That was brutal, though. That
oh
was
my
a
god,
tough
that
one
was
to watch.
terrible. I
That
mean,
was
terrible. It was
that was like they were savage.
they
I
were
don't think they liked them.
the apparently what they actually uploaded to Netflix. If you didn't catch it live, and then they put it up
I caught it
afterwards,
live.
they cut
Yeah.
they cut a bunch of stuff from the live one.
Oh, they always
Apparently,
do.
him and his agent were just like, this needs to go like now. We don't
Yeah.
want this in it. So, yeah. But I mean, there's a healthy amount of roasting needs to happen, right? You need to poke a little fun here and there. Right? It's
Well,
gonna happen.
You
It's
know,
gonna happen.
you can't take it seriously. I mean,
No.
I mean, I appreciate a good amount of shit talk, no matter what. Like if you're playing like at a joust and someone's chirping, I want that. I think it's funny. I know it's breaking concentration, but you know what? Suck it up. That's half the fun.
it's true.
You got to be able to handle it though. You can't be chirping and not take the chirping. Because if you can't,
You
take
can't
it,
get shot and be okay with getting shot by a 280 feet per second projectile, and you can't take a joke. It's
Right.
part of the game, isn't it? Not to take it seriously. I mean, if you
Correct.
do, then you're in the wrong sport, buddy. You should probably play golf, ping pong. I know ping pong is a big deal. Darts.
I don't know.
well,
Well, I mean, darts.
You're
they
naming
take that
things I
pretty
love.
They
Not ping pong, but darts
There's,
and golf. I love. I mean, golf
Foosball?
video games.
What's that sport where you slap the other person? You just stand in front of them and you just slap the shit
I
out
think
of
it's
them?
just called slaps.
Is
I
it?
don't know what it's called, but it's very large. Usually Russian men slapping the ever living hell out of. I like watching that 2v1 fighting league. And
Never
just
seen
watching-
that.
Oh my god, yeah, it's some
I
Russian.
saw
No,
that
it's
one.
on YouTube. I'll send it to you. It's
The big guy beating up two.
Yep, beating up those two
Horrible.
little dudes, and they are putting up a good fight, but he just
Wow.
thumps the living hell out
Oh,
of
you're
them.
talking about Mr. Beast.
Mm.
His name is Mr. Beast. He's the strongest man in the world. Like deadlift and that kind of stuff. Yeah, he beat the hell out of those two guys.
I'll have to go check
one of
that
them.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty good
it's
video.
something to see. It's pretty funny.
It's a pretty good video. It's horrible.
I do enjoy watching a good thumping when it needs to happen.
Let's real quick. I want to talk about Christopher Struck. He said, "Y'all pumped for MLB on ESPN 8." First of all, I thought it was ESPN 2.
It's ESPN 8, the Ocho.
The what?
It's
Dodgeball.
8 in Spanish.
I am excited by the concept of paintball being on ESPN. I am, however, a little disappointed that we got the 1 a.m. time slot, which
Listen,
means that,
they got
the-
something.
I mean, we got something. We got something. Don't get me wrong. We got something. And
nothing.
on the West Coast, where the majority of people who are going to be watching this, because it's an American ESPN 2, we in Canada, we can't get it. We have to use a VPN to get to it.
Yeah. that's
So
true.
obviously it's targeting the Americans. West Coast, you're talking California, which that's the majority of the population that they're targeting is on the West Coast. So that's what, 10 p.m. their time, so which isn't that bad,
What night?
really. Yeah, it's 10 p.m. Their time, California time. So not the end of the world. So when you take it in stride that way, it makes sense. Okay, fine. But I'm kind of bummed. I was like, oh, like 1 a.m. Eastern time. I was like, it kind of sucks, but whatever. But I am pumped to see it on there. I'm really excited. I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna work some magic and get my
big deal
my
though. After
grubby
so
hands on
many
it. I want to
years.
see what. I want to see what it is. I want to see what they're gonna do differently. I want to see how they're gonna handle it. Because if it's just gonna be Go Sports but on ESPN, then
I think it's going to be that, to be honest. Nothing
Yeah.
wrong with Go Sports. I think they did a pretty
No.
good job.
they've done a great job.
I think the
I'm just curious
commentary is also switching to ESPN, if I'm not mistaken.
I want
wanna
to see
how they do
That's
that.
what I want to see.
Right?
Yeah.
I want to
How-
see all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if it's not good, I'm going down there and I'm going to show them a Jerry Lawler, and I'll bring one of you two with me, and you can be my Jim Ross, and we will just destroy them. Because it needs to have good commentary. It has to be funny. There has to be some personality injected into it, because if it's just watching paintball, unless you have only paintballers watching it, it's going to be a tough sell to anybody else.
Yeah, there
I'm
needs
like-
to be some good commentary. There needs to be
I don't think it's going to make a huge change, to be honest.
no. I don't think it's going
I'm
to make a
sorry
big
to
change.
be
at all.
that person. I think the
That's
sport
okay.
is designed to be a small sport. It goes in like waves. Every 7-8 years, you'll have like, oh shit, paintball is huge, and then it goes down.
Yeah.
And that's how it is. And it's also connected to the economy.
Very much so.
Paintball
It's
is
a
all about
luxury.
those group. Yeah, it is.
Paintball's a luxury sport, and right now, the way the world is, it's the world isn't cheap right now. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
does
People
things to
complain
slow
about
down.
food pricing. It is what
Wolf
it
is
is.
saying they've got individual cam helmets for certain games. So that's what I'm curious about. Is it, are we going to be obviously at 10 p.m. Western, like West time, like Pacific time, or 1 a.m. Eastern time? It's not live. So they're clearly filming games and then editing and replaying. They'd have to be, right?
Yeah.
Again, people are going to subscribe to the service and watch it at whatever time they watch it. What time it airs live is not really indicative of a show's performance anymore. It's
No,
what it does in watches and views, like podcasts or anything else, right? It's
Yep.
consumed in such a different way that the demo is going to consume it whenever we can get it. I mean, I watch Formula One at 7 p.m. here, local time, New Brunswick, and that's every Sunday night. That's how I watch it. It doesn't matter if it was on last night or this morning at 10 a.m. or yesterday at midnight, because it's in Dubai and it's last night. It's just, as long as it's getting onto a network where somebody can see it and it can get out there and maybe get a little more reach than what Go Sports has, which
Yeah.
I'm not sure of their level of reach, but ESPN is a household name. Go Sports is not. So it's very cool.
That's
I
true.
just hope that, that's why I'm thinking they have to have some way to bring people to watch it other than just watching the game. It's if we want it to get bigger, we need that. If we want it to stay small and kind of stay niche-y like it is now, which is
just to answer Cameron and Bob in the chat here, the price of paint. As long as the sport is small, the price of paint will be expensive. When the sport becomes very popular, the prices go down because you'll have more company investing, and that will drive the price down. And I can give you an example, but people will get hurt. So let's keep it that way. But it is what it is. I mean, does it make sense that a case of paintball costs at a good price $90 to $100? It's a little bit ridiculous. It is what it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see the sport grow, and I think this is going to help. I think this is going to really help get some eyes on things, because ESPN is also going to hopefully promote this on their socials. You know what I mean? Like,
I would assume if it's going, they're not going to invest in it and not advertise at least somewhat.
Right. So we're going to get that. We're going to get to push that way. We're hopefully.
Let's see how much they invest, though, because that costs money, right? Marketing costs a lot of money. Let's see if the revenue's there.
What I'm curious is
something I want to get my money back, right?
And I'd love to talk to Tom Cole about this, but is Major League Paintball paying ESPN, or is ESPN paying Major League Paintball? Like that's a I assume question. Major League Paintball must be paying ESPN. You know what I mean? Like if a contract was signed, I'm curious what's in that contract, right? I want to know. Wolf wants to know what kind of commercials you're going to play. That's going to be really interesting to see.
Soccer cleats, Under Armour cleats.
I see.
Because you can't put guns on the TV. Paintball markers? I don't think you can. Have you ever seen a commercial of a paintball marker ever on TV? Never.
Well, no. You don't see gun advertisements.
You used to on the hunting shows.
Like a Remington, buy a Remington. It shoots straighter than a Colt.
Yeah. No, on the
really?
on
that throws me off. I guess
TSN. No, I forget the channel, but it used to always be like Sundays were like hunting shows, and they always advertised like different firearms, ammunition types, that stuff. That was advertised on TV. So it'll be really curious to see if like paintball companies invest in this. It's like, are we going to see Vulcan commercials? Are we going to see Planet Eclipse commercials? Or are we going to see
I don't think so. I think that will bring companies like energy drinks to invest, like Red Bull to invest in teams in paintball. That could be huge for the game, and you'll see those commercials during those events. So the game will bring that type of that type of sponsorships. That's what the sport needs. You're not gonna get sponsorship from like Under Armour. That will be difficult in the beginning, but you'll get Red Bull, you'll get G Fuel, whatever it is. I think that could be a good start, and then you'll see those commercials.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
That's a good start.
Rain already sponsored the NXL. Under Armour already tried sponsoring Greenspan. What else was there? There was another one. There were some big ones. But yeah, it's going to be neat. It's really going to be crazy to see what it is. And I'm, like I said, I'm going to get my hands on it, whether it's
absolutely.
Yeah, Chris saying Rockstar sponsored Dynasty back in the day.
That's the other one. Hertz Rental. They're already sponsoring the MLB, MLP. So it's happening. Now, I think the other thing too is a lot of people, like, we're so used to seeing basketball, hockey, baseball, curling, football on TV, and we're like, man, how come we don't have that kind of coverage? And you got to think, like,
too small.
Well, paintball's only been around 40 years.
Yeah,
hockey's been around 140 years, like 130 years.
Yeah,
so like we got some growing to do.
We're not in, like, look at hockey. There's a hockey team in Vegas, right? Like a desert. Paintball doesn't exist in a lot of countries, even European countries, but it is growing. It's growing in Mexico. It's growing in Brazil. It's growing in Portugal. It's growing in a lot of places slowly.
It's growing in the countries that have a rapidly expanding middle class.
Yeah,
like countries that are historically have been considered not wealthy. They're expanding with a middle class because the quote unquote like third world countries are very quickly becoming not third world countries anymore, and that's where it's expanding. Like, we're gonna see huge growth that way.
Pickleball is bigger than paintball, and
shut up. Pickleball has just captured the boomer market. That's the reason why.
Yeah.
It's tennis for people who don't want to move.
It's ping pong for slow people,
or ping pong for slow people.
I watch them, man. They rent every middle school gym, and you see them and laugh at them. Pickleball's tonight. Like, all right, here we go, boys. Let's see some old fogey blow their kneecap out or something. Get the ambulance on speed dial, boys.
For real though.
That's your emergency response. If your friend there doesn't call 911, you get the custodian. So do you really want me coming to save your ass because you popped your knee? No.
Are you on the ground?
The message is don't pickleball alone, I guess.
Don't pickleball alone. Don't pickleball with somebody who can't pick you up.
That's
because
not an unreasonable statement.
Because if you have to call the custodian and Tom comes by, he's just going to come by with the big broom and just sweep you off the floor.
Understand how strong I am. I will drag you by the ankles and put you on the curb. I don't know what the school's insurance is like. Got to save the province some money somehow. Got to save old Blaney some money, bud. So no fall on school property.
Will's got a good point. He says, "Don't laugh. Pickleball and frisbee golf is taking paintballers from us." You know what though?
Frisbee golf is wild to watch.
It's fucking wild to watch. It's easy to watch. I don't know the rules to frisbee golf, but I know
it's funny as hell to watch.
I know what an impressive throw is. Also, the cost of entry is what?
Airsoft. Yeah, airsoft.
Again,
I mean, airsoft will always take paintballers, and paintballers will always take airsofters. Like, it's just we kind of swap back and forth.
I feel like it's more airsofters taking paintballers though. Especially
I've had airsofters tell me the same thing. You can get into airsoft super inexpensively. You don't have to spend a lot of money to get airsoft.
It's a cheaper sport. Yeah.
Fun fact: you don't have to spend a lot of money to get into paintball either. You can buy a marker for $80. Go to Canadian Tire, fella.
Yeah, but paint costs more. Paint is the problem. It's not the marker.
It's the consumable. Yes, it does cost more, but how much?
They don't cost much. They cost maybe a third of the price, if I'm not mistaken.
Depends on where you're playing. It depends. I don't know what fields charge for their BBs. We'd have to ask our friends at Commando Paintball in Ottawa. They'd let us know roughly what they charge for a bottle of BBs. I don't know that. I'd want to know though, because yes, it's going to be cheaper than paint. You're going to shoot more, therefore you're going to shoot more. But if you've got paint, you're going to be a little more gun shy. You're going to be a little more lenient.
Well, I think it's also, it's not just that it's cheaper for entry. Airsoft is easier for someone to get into. So when you really look at paintball, the type of players who play paintball are the ones who can take a hit, don't mind the pain, and push through it. which is not
everybody.
below the average person.
And that's not a shot on anybody. Some people
No.
are just kind of silly and like to get shot with paint.
And
some
then
of us enjoy it. That's kind of a thing.
airsoft is...
They do not like doing that. They like to play Milsim. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I had to bite my tongue for a second. Don't do it. The BBs don't hurt as much as a paintball. And I think that's really, really, really attractive to a large number of individuals. Like,
I agree to a certain point. I think it's on other than the price. I think it's the fact that if you want to play soldier, airsoft is more realistic in their eyes, at least. People don't want to get their clothes dirty with paint.
I think they're one of those ARs. It looks like the real.
It's a 1-to-1. Yeah,
but I don't want to play soldier. I want
FSR lacerations.
We don't want to play soldier, but a lot of the young kids and even the older people, I don't want to start hurting people. Anyways,
I've seen a lot of older ballers. There's a lot of the older ballers. The God, what was the markers that they were using? It'll come to me. The last generation of baller, that some of them got older, they still want to play a combat sport. They don't want to get bruised up. They want to play with a fancier toy.
I mean,
you see a lot of those guys. I find
there's no shame in it. It's just I think at the end of the day, a lot of people try to compare it, and it's apples and oranges. Really, an airsofter's mindset is wildly different than a paintballer's, and vice versa.
That's true,
right? Like
I think for the most part, we take ourselves a lot less serious than an airsofter for sure.
I am a combat sport enthusiast. There we go. That's the easiest way. I like watching people beat the shit out of each other. I like getting shot. I like shooting at people. I like playing missions. I like combat sports. It's a nice umbrella so that we don't just start splitting again, because we don't want that. Paul still likes getting shot because he's old. Yes, we know, Paul. I love you too, buddy. We'll watch out for
Paul,
those.
Paul, you're not getting hit if you're 150 feet away from the front line. You need to be closer to get hit. Paul's uniform is always cleaner than anybody's.
I'm curious myself, though, about that term, combat sport. I don't know if that qualifies for paintball anymore. What determines a combat sport?
Is it? I mean, you're not really fighting. It's more like a.
My mind is going down a
sport because
my mind is going down this little like rabbit hole right now. Where it's like, why is it called a combat sport? Is it because you get into combat?
Like a speedball combat?
That's what I mean.
Type of thing.
I consider that combat. Like you're fighting.
Okay.
You're seeking. But at the end of the day, I think, anyways. But
right, but no, yeah. So that's that. Sorry, it's just where my brain just kind of went down this little rabbit hole. Like, what constitutes a combat sport? Because in that case, it's like combat sport. UFC is considered a combat sport.
Yes, it is.
Why
is laser tag a combat sport?
Why?
Laser tag is a game.
But why is UFC a combat sport? Because it's physical contact. It's physical combat.
Yeah. Yes, it's combat. The difference between that and football is a contact sport. It's a sport in which contact happens. The idea wrestling is a combat sport. And I don't mean pro wrestling. I mean like Olympic style wrestling. It's a combat sport.
I think it's more like a shooting sport because shooting the other player. I would say. I don't know. And then combat though.
Right. See, that's whenever we run into these weird little like.
Yeah,
why did we start calling it a combat sport? That's what I don't understand. Like where that came from.
Marriage is a combat sport for sure.
Marriage is a combat sport.
Yeah, till death do us part.
Yeah, like that's just where I was just curious of where we got this term of combat sport, because like UFC is combat. I understand that it's fighting. Mm-hmm. The medieval style stuff, that's fighting 100%.
Yeah.
What about the fist fights in a hockey game?
Hockey's a contact sport. The fights aren't part of the
fights
are part of the game, but they're not the central part of the game.
Yeah, but most sports are contact too, like soccer, football, like you know what I mean?
In rugby, as a forward, my job was to physically stop.
But you're playing rugby. which is not a combat game. It's a contact sport. Contact is not the direct idea of the game. The idea of the game is to move the ball.
I think
Right.
Cameron gave us the
Contact
answer.
is incidental.
It's a
Okay, so hear me out.
Cameron gave us the answer. Shooting combat sport. That's it.
No, but so hear me out. In speedball, the objective of the game is to hit the buzzer.
True.
Shooting somebody with a paintball is just part of the game.
It's yeah.
Right?
True.
Now you're digging semantics at that point, because
No, but you know what I mean? Like, so
paintball
it's
is
just
still the sport. The sport is still to eliminate the other team.
but it's not. The point of speedball is to hit the buzzer. You eliminate the team, you
Mm.
don't get the point till you hit the buzzer.
Can somebody Google paintball?
You're adding an
please?
you're adding an objective at that point. I must disagree with your assessment on that one,
But but that's the thing. Like in a speedball game, if you eliminate the whole team and you stand around, the game doesn't stop.
It's a firefight simulation. Maybe. Are you Googling it?
Yeah.
What is paintball?
What is paintball? What is a combat sport? What is a combat?
let's there. What is a combat sport?
Yeah.
A combat or fighting sport is a contact sport that usually involves one-on-one combat. In many combat sports, a contestant wins by scoring more points than the
That's like
opponent,
speedball.
submitting the opponent with a hold, disabling the opponent, or attacking the opponent in a specific or designated technique. So then paintball wouldn't qualify as a combat sport, because it sounds like combat sports.
Obviously, the greatest
physical.
difference is that a real combat scenario is driven by the threat of death or crippling injury, but a paintballer is threatened merely by a short sting of pain and or having to sit out until the end of the round. So is it like anything like real combat? So yeah, it's still a game.
Yeah. The actual definition of combat sport from the Canadian Fighting Center is a contact sport, usually with a one-on-one combat. So we need to come up with a new term. Not that we don't have enough of them. Anyways, that was a tangent. I just wanted to go on. It's going absolutely. It had no point to it.
A combat sport.
And the good news is we still don't know what it is.
I don't think it has a definition, man. I think ultimately it's a
Well, it's
game.
because there's different
I
type
did
of
see
paintball.
scoring points to argue against what you were saying, Brad.
You know,
He
you're
wins by
forgetting
scoring
something.
points.
You're forgetting something.
Yeah, but you
though.
only score a point in speedball if you hit the buzzer.
Speedball is just a sport. That's it. That's the definition. It's just a sport.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's
now,
what I'm saying.
Ragdoll is way more complicated.
Because I'm saying
because,
in speedball, you can technically win the round without shooting a shot.
yeah, so it's just a sport like soccer. Like what kind of sport is soccer? Soccer is soccer. Tennis is tennis.
But you were
I
saying
would say
Ball-hitting
it's
sport.
a ball. I don't know. It's a foot sport. I don't know.
It's a ball
Anyway,
shooting sport.
this is what drove the Greeks mad.
It's a good sport. It's expensive, but it's
Ooh, there we go.
one day
I like
of
it. Cool. Bob Spicer's got it. It's an extreme sport. Bam.
Yeah.
I like that. That sums it up for me. I like
But
that.
what makes it extreme is it because you're getting hit with paintballs.
I think it's that
280 per
most of
second.
us are running around with 48 cubic inches of compressed air and a carbon fiber tank under next to a major artery.
Yeah, you can't travel with it, but you can run and climb a hill with it.
That's the
I think
the
it's
fact
that
that
is
I've
an
never-
extreme
that-
sport, kind of.
90% of people tense up when they air up their tanks. That makes it an extreme sport.
Yeah, you have to hold your breath.
Right?
Hope for the best.
You're just like, how far
I
can I go? How far
mean-
can I go? How far can I go? I'm gonna check it out. Okay, let's go.
if it goes, it's
Depends
gonna
how
be
old your
very
tank
quick,
is.
and you're not gonna know what happened. So I mean,
Actually, I
don't worry
did
about it.
see. I witnessed a steel tank detonate one time.
Really?
Yeah. So,
Shit,
fun
how old
fact,
is that
folks:
tank?
do not put oil in your air tank. When compressed air enters it, it will vaporize the oil, which will auto ignite and blow up.
Today I learned.
Yeah, messed
Safety
up somebody's
tip of
hand
the
pretty good.
day.
The more you know.
Jesus Christ.
And
That's pretty
and the auto ignition of the oil if the oil's in the tank itself. Now this is I'm not saying don't put oil in the ASA of your marker and then screw your tank on. You're fine, but do not put oil in your tank. it will auto ignite faster than the burst disc can react to, like faster than it can handle, and it will blow up the tank. So, which is no fault of the tank manufacturer or the field handling it. It's the fault of whoever put oil in the tank.
That's user error.
100%. So, anyways, just fun fact. Don't do it. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I think ESPN's going to classify it as an extreme sport. It was part of ESPN's extreme sports back in the early 2000s, according to Bob Spicer. Speedball was considered the same as the X Games. Yes, I'm down for that. I am down for that.
X Games paintball. That's pretty cool.
I'd be down. You know what? I would. Wait, where did that happen?
Motocross.
No, that was motocross.
With a paintball marker.
Yeah, motocross with the paintball in the center.
I mean, I'll get on a 4-wheeler and duel one of you guys any day of the week. We can joust. We can have ourselves a joust with a 4-wheeler.
So, bringing us back.
No.
To the topic?
We did have a topic. We're going to talk about being over 40, but we've said a lot of stuff, folks. I'm going to open up on the phone lines, and if you want to call in and comment on anything we've said, please call in 1-506-453-4979. It's scrolling across the screen.
Look at it go.
Look at it go.
Just to motivate them, speaking of people, we've got Wolf and Paul in chat. So if you guys want to make a phone call.
Ooh, he's calling them out. Also, Wolf brought up the one thing that always gets brought up. We need paintball in the Olympics.
I have a comment, but I'm going to keep it to myself.
No, don't.
I can't.
Why do you tease us like that, you animal?
I would actually like.
We won't make it to the Olympics. We will make it to the other Olympics. Hey, I'm one of them. I'm just.
I mean,
you got it.
I think we're on the right track, though. If we get on ESPN or not ESPN, with the Major League Paintball, where like we now have like umbrella, right? Like an organization that's overseeing everything. That's the step in the right direction. We need a lot more refinement in everything before I think we can get into the Olympics. We need a hard definition of Olympic paintball, like a hard set of rules with a hard limitation on markers, with everything like figured out. Yeah, Wolf, man, grill him, bro.
Wiping in Olympic paintball, like
I can say that because it's not my show.
It's whatever. What are you gonna do? Cancel me? Try me. One of the
already canceled, so there you go.
You can't cancel me. It's community radio.
Exactly.
One of the big things is that the Olympics have very strict and narrow definitions and rules for everything. So if we were going to get paintball in the Olympics, it would almost come down to like, it would have to be almost the same way as F1.
Cameron makes a really good point here.
I don't think cannabis is against the Olympics.
It was.
It was, but I'm pretty sure. I think
they eliminated, or maybe it's based on whatever city it's hosted in.
What's the American sprinter? She was fined, and oh my god, the famous swimmer, the best swimmer in the world. Yeah, he was also fined for having marijuana in the system.
Really?
Which is it's weird because he won, and that's supposed to slow you down, but he still won. So good for him.
That's always been my argument. It's supposed to slow me down, not speed me up. So,
right?
what are you worried about?
I think if we're going to do paintball in the Olympics, they need to take a page out of F1's book. Tom, I think you can explain this a little more, but like all the F1 cars are basically the same.
No,
I thought there was like a strict.
No,
they
the
all
body
have
is.
a certain. They have yes, the body is strictly, but the engine is not. They can have modifications from car to car, from team to team, but there is a defined set of rules of things they cannot have.
Okay, yeah.
It's
so then that's
very much like look for the loophole is Formula One, right? So it doesn't say you can't not do this, so do it.
Right. Yeah.
And
until it's
great,
changed in the rules. Run with it. So okay, so that's what I mean. So there needs to be a.
I think they have to have the same budget, if I'm not mistaken.
They have
the same spending budget. I could be wrong. Yes, they do. Actually, they do. Sorry, I should know this because I watched Formula One.
There's a spending cap, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
He can't go
that
over.
prevents companies like Red Bull
Ferrari
going out
from
or
kicking
Ferrari.
the living
Yeah.
Red
out
Bull got
of
caught
Sauber.
2 years ago. They went over and they said they spent more money on catering, which is a lie. Sorry. True story. You guys
Oh
can look it
man,
up.
did you watch this weekend the entertainment that went on during Formula One with our friends Pastrami and Lando?
No,
Pastrami.
but I've heard the last one was a pretty good race.
It was
Speaking
a
of being 40,
fantastic race.
I'm a Schumacher guy. That's a long time ago.
Admirable. I hope that
Yeah.
young Mick comes back. That makes it back to the main stage.
I don't think he will. I think it's Verstappen and the younger
Max.
drivers. Yeah, he's still gonna be. Maxie's the man. Love him or hate him, he's the best right now. So
I don't hate him. I just wish he wasn't such a whiny little bitch. He should be doing better and not acting like a petulant child who stayed up too late.
yeah, he does have the best car too, though.
No, Lando's car is mighty fast, and Lewis. I was so happy to see him on the podium talking to Nico Rosberg. Did the interview and then he's
think he
poking
should
at.
Retire.
No, I don't think so. I think he's going to go and drive. He's going to drive the Big Red.
Yeah, but Ferrari hasn't been great for a very long time. I think he's going to try something different, but he's always going to be a Mercedes guy for me. So,
see, when I started watching, he was just finishing up his McLaren run, and like when he pulled into the McLaren pits because he'd been doing it for so many years. His first race with Mercedes, he pulls into the McLaren pit.
It's a paintball show. I got it. All right, we'll be back on topic. Jesus Christ. Okay, love you, Mom. Bye.
Just sitting here watching. I'm like, I wonder how long they'll go for.
That should be another podcast.
What time's the Maritime Paintball podcast?
Hey,
comes on shortly
races.
after the Maritime F1 podcast, apparently.
And don't forget the Maritime Sandwich podcast.
Yeah.
That was a great one. We haven't had a good sandwich in a while, so.
No, honestly, no. But there's an old school sandwich shop opening up here in Fredericton. So,
if he has to retire, Alonso has to retire, and I will cut you if I lose Fernando Alonso. He's old,
he's the man,
and we love him.
Yeah.
Well, Kitty's gone, so we need somebody with some personality now that the
Alonso
Iceman's not around.
from San Diego Dynasty, right? That Alonso?
Yeah. Multiple world champion winner.
He's trying.
Honestly, I think players over 40 should be Wolf calling right now because he's the man. Not because he's over 40, because he's the most athletic dude I've seen
Bob?
On the field. So
Bob's going to the hot tub.
Bob's going to the hot tub. That's fun. That's exciting. Yeah, it's where are we going? The topic, the whole paintball over 40. You know what I noticed? A big thing with paintballers over the age of, I'm going to say over the age of 35, not just over 40, but over the age of 45 or 40. Jesus, can't talk. Is the level of party that forms around a paintball event, especially a big game, something that's not hyper competitive. There is like, we're going, but we're going to eat, drink, and be merry, and maybe we'll get some paintball in.
It's like, not a bad plan, man. That sounds pretty good to me.
I really think it's a matter of like a lot of the guys, like especially the grumpy old men, right? They're kind of like the perfect example. A lot of the grumpy old men, they are they're family men, right? They got kids. They're happy in their career. They're kind of like in a point in life where everything is now starting to level out. Things are smooth. They're happy. But they're busy. They're dads. They're husbands. They're working full-time, probably in a leadership role of some kind. Like they've moved up in a company or they moved up in an organization of some kind. So when they do get time to themselves to go do what they want to do, they're like, we're doing it properly with good food, good drink, good people. And that's one thing I really noticed. And I really, really like, I'm finding myself as I'm getting older, like I'm How old am I? 35. That's what I'm more interested in. I want to play competitive paintball regularly, but I don't have the time nor the funds or the energy to play at the level that a lot of these guys, like local guys, are playing, right? They're in their 20s. They don't give a shit. They're living at home. They're working full time somewhere. They got a ton of money to blow on paintball, and that's what they do. And
they're trying to prove themselves.
Good for them, though. Have fun while you can, right? Like,
but you don't have to anymore. You've
no,
already done
right?
that.
I want to go out. I just want to do
it, right?
I just want to do a little bit better than what I did last time I went out, and I want to enjoy myself. You know, like I love my family, but I want to.
That's how I've been doing this for ages, dude. Is I just go out there to have fun. I am by nature not the most competitive of people. I just want to go out and enjoy myself, and that's having some party time at the shack with the boys, going on, and trying to do a little better, clap a few cheeks, put some nice shots downrange, but it's not what you're going there for these events like Osega. We're going there just to cool and hang out with our cool paintball cousins.
Everybody's different. Some people are, if you're a young guy and you want to be a speedballer, you're trying to win. You're trying to be a better player. Maybe you want to be a pro. You never know, right? You are going to put in the effort, the sacrifice, the practice twice a week, working your ass off and spending the money on paint, right?
Absolutely. And I love them for it. And I want them to keep doing it and keep having fun because they're going to build memories and it's going to be a good time. I now
just want to have fun.
I just want exactly. It's my time off. It's my day off. It's my couple of hours where I don't have to worry about the missus or the kids or the job, and I just want to do my own thing and not worry about anything and not worry about. I just want to have a good time. I want to walk away with good memories and just be like, man, that was great. I want to come back energized, a little sore, sure, why not? But happy, right? Happy.
But it's the same. I feel like if you're doing well in life and if you're in a good place in life, that should reflect on the field as well. Like you said, the grumpy old men, they're all kind of like they have their families already. They have maybe a leadership or a career. They're comfortable at work. It's the same way on the field. They're comfortable. They're not there to, create drama. They're not there to, to prove anything. They're just there to have fun. It's their day, right? Yeah. They're going to spend 6-7 hours on the field, go back to their families, but that's their time.
One thing I've noticed too is
and no
with
pressure
the older
too,
crowd, the older crowd, let's say 35, 40 and 40 up, is they're more confident on the field. Yes, they're also very confident to express their opinions on situations. So like the grumpy old men, for example, on more than one occasion had talked to, they talked to the owners or they talked to the event producer and just be like, yo, like this is what's happening. It's not cool. Like the game's not fun right now because of the way you're running this point A, point B, point C, whatever. And it's not like hot-headed. It's not angry. It's just like they see a problem and they're like, I'm just going to address this right now.
Like a grown-up. Instead
of getting on Facebook and being like, this event was terrible, blah, 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 whatever. Right. Like, and that's something I've noticed about some of the older paintballers. They're very quick to tell the event organizers when shit's gone sideways, which I really appreciate.
Yeah. It's one of the problems of younger players who are kind of trying to be popular. It's a small sport, right?
The hell kind of YouTube name is Chemical Gases?
Where'd you see anybody here? Is anybody out there?
They're all on Facebook, bro. You're the only one watching on YouTube. I appreciate it.
We're happy to have you on YouTube, dude. Yeah. Thanks, man. Andrew, over 50. You don't look a day over 49.
Yeah, I would say easily going on 48. Definitely not 50 though. Definitely not 50.
I thought he was 55, to be honest.
Oh, you're a monster.
Oof. Ouch.
Hey, Lurch.
Lurch PB's in there. What's happening? Lurch, we didn't know you're there. We don't know who's there watching unless you comment. That's the thing. Mom says the same. Uh, my mom says I'm the handsomest boy, and yeah,
Why do you have to cut me like that?
with
Why do you
with
say
your
such mean things?
with your chat, what's going on here?
No, I meant you. What? My mom says I'm
Respect.
cute.
What? No, sorry. I'm just. He's from Scotland. I'm sorry. I'm keeping an eye on the comments. We got a Scotsman on the.
A Scotsman. No
What's
wonder
your
you like your...
preparation though before a game? If you're 40 and
Okay.
up,
I have.
that could be. I figured something out though. Ibuprofen, McDonald's breakfast, stretch
No.
till you get that letter. That's my ritual. There, I've been doing that for a long time. That works for me. Combo number 2.
No, I do. When I
You play
know
Saturday, you play just Sunday.
when I know I'm going to a paintball event, a day of play of any kind, I make sure that like 2 days beforehand that I'm drinking enough water. I don't
Yep.
want to try and hydrate like the day of because you're not going to do it,
That's smart. Yeah.
right? Because I want to, I want to get that in there. The morning of, I get up and I'm out the door. Usually breakfast is like a bagel with like butter, nothing wild. Because I don't want heavy greasy, I don't want spicy, I don't want anything fancy. I've got a weird stomach and I don't want to risk that on a paintball field. And so ibuprofen, yes, 100%. Or
The magic pill.
or it's
They won't let us. They won't sponsor us because they're not cleared in Canada.
No, it's the other blue pill.
No plans
Naproxen?
next day. That's right, Andrew.
Naproxen
Take
Oh, I
Monday
love
off.
my naproxen. Naproxen's
Naproxen.
good.
or Aleve. Sorry for the brand name, folks. For those of you who can afford brand name pharmaceuticals,
Don't take
Aleve.
Motrin. Do not take Motrin in the morning. That will put you to sleep. I've done
I've
that
never
one
done
time.
that one. I've always just done Aleve because it's really
I took a
great for
Motrin in the morning. Yeah.
my shoulders.
Some methylphenidate, little Concerta first thing in the morning, get you right
There you
cranked up.
go. And so
A
yeah, we
bagel.
hit that, and then we hit the field. Water, Gatorade, energy drink every once in a while, a little bit of caffeine, keep my heart
Are
rate
you
going.
taking breaks? Are you taking long breaks? Every time you come back,
I
reload.
try. I try not to take super long breaks because I find I stiffen up.
Yeah.
If I come off the
Stretching.
field, and I'm stretching before I get on the field. Absolutely, I'm stretching. I stretch until I feel that burn, that little bit of like
A little
you
sweat. When you start getting sweat, feel warm.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to stretch, you want to get the blood moving. And then when I come off the field, I try not to stop unless I really, really have to. And
Yeah.
Fair.
because if I sit down, I lock up.
CBD. Yep.
See, I avoid that stuff before playing because I can't.
It's the king's ritual, man.
No. What Pat's talking about is a little different. Works very well. They have some great topical creams. Like you can get like a balm for your knees that just it works really well. Anyways, moving on from that. The energy drinks are good, but you got to take the breaks. I don't sit. Very rarely will you see me sitting during a day of play. Once I sit, it's over. Like getting into my truck and getting back from the field to the Airbnb to the hotel. When I get out of that truck, I'm in hell. Like my body cracks and creaks. I get to the restaurant, I eat, and then I go to bed and I pass out. And I hate my life the next morning.
Sleeping the day before is important too. Like if you get a good 8 hours, I think
A
you'll
good
get
sleep is necessary. Yes, no question.
get you a lot of energy. But that's for any age though. Like even if you're young, like why put yourself through that if you're you need to be
Because you're young and you want to go out and
physically-
party. Come on now.
Oh
You
man,
were
Yeah,
21
but-
years old. Don't
back when
fool
I was in my
yourself.
20s, I was partying. I was just having a ton of fun the night before. Get up in the morning, let's go. Out
Yeah,
the
your
door
body
by
could recover
9.
though. Your body was able to recover. Not anymore.
I can't anymore.
I don't bounce anymore, man. I splat.
You're in
Yeah.
a coma
Bro,
the
that-
second day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to bounce back, and around 25, I had that first big splat and realized that at 35, I splatted hard, and I don't
Yeah,
do it anymore because just
Yeah, it was like 25, 26. I woke up one morning going like, "Wow, I feel like crap," and then like it happened
the thought
again.
of playing paintball hungover is
again.
is sounds like a nightmare.
My
True hell.
problem, honestly, my biggest problem is to adjust the way I play. I mean, you guys have played with me a couple of times now. I can't play like I'm 40 or like I'm 38, I still feel like I'm young, and I know at one point I will get seriously injured. It is what it is. It's hard to, I don't know. It's hard to take it easy sometimes when you're used to playing a certain way.
No, for sure.
He's right. Like you're gonna go like hell until you hurt yourself, and then you realize what you've done. But there's no way to know until you've hit that limit, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's
you do your very best to mitigate it, but it's gonna happen. There's no shame. I'm gonna say this and regret saying it. There's no shame in knee pads.
No.
Yeah, you're supposed to wear knee pads, even if you're young.
I've enjoyed them quite. Not having sore knees the next day after ball is really nice.
The pros. If you look at the guys in the pros, under those jerseys and under those pants are knee pads and elbow pads,
sliding shorts, the whole thing. Compressing pants, compression
they're protected.
Shirts.
It doesn't look like it, but they are protected.
To a certain point, unless you get shot in the first strike.
Like 40 feet and another thing too is I've learned is that when my body says take a break, I go take a break. I don't push through that shit anymore on the paintball field.
So,
there's time and a place to push through that pain, but like not on paintball. Like there was one day, it was the airsoft game that I was still
like
had
Saturday?
a cough. No, this was ages ago. This was in at AXP. We got invited out to an airsoft game, and I still had a cough. Like I still like I thought I could push through it, and I did a big run, and then I couldn't get my breath, and my vision actually started to narrow. And I was like, okay, I'm done. I walked off. I just started walking in a straight line.
I played pneumonia once, like a dumb shit. So I understand not realizing your limits once in a while. That was not my finest move.
Yeah, that was a big one. So I was like, okay, I'm walking off. I'm done.
Yeah, that's not fun.
No,
I don't know. At the end, listen, man. No matter what your age, just play the way you want to. It's your money. You're the customer. If you want to chill in the back, if you want to play aggressive, but just understand a little bit that your body's not the same after 40, even after 30. You don't recover as fast, and a lot of times you carry those injuries with you.
I can assure you, your body is going to hit you one of those days. It might be 39. It might be 40. Might be 35. Might be 45, but it's going to change.
Unless you're Ryan Greenspan, then you're okay to play till you're 60 or 70, because that guy is not normal. He's a freak of nature. He is.
Yeah, he drinks the blood of small children, allegedly.
He's also the epitome of like an athlete.
He's a proper athlete. Like he's a professional athlete.
Yeah. He is paid to play paintball. He is paid to work out. He is paid to keep that's all he worries about is being a good paintballer. Among other life
athletes.
things, but like
King is not an athlete.
I'm not an athlete. Nobody like, man, there are so few real athletes in the sport of paintball. It is ridiculous.
I use those hard finger quotes. If I was ever had the audacity to refer to myself as an athlete, it would be like those finger quotes had best be really well implied, because look at me, I'm not an athlete. So weekend warrior best.
Is a professional dart player an athlete?
Yes.
Then I guess I have to change my answer, but there's not that many athletes in paintball, because there's a lot of dad bods who walk around with a beer in their hand in the world of paintball. So we got about 6 minutes left, and Oh, another really good thing that I've learned as I've been playing paintball, and I should have learned this much sooner in my years, is don't forget to eat. Consume something.
Oh yeah. I'm bad for that. And,
eat something, damn it. And I don't mean like go to the food truck and get yourself a poutine or something, but like hell, just like
a poutine.
Like an apple or something. Like just give your body a little bit of fuel to work with, right? Because like you can, if you fuel up before the day and you play hard all day, and then like you get to that end, it's like you're driving home. Especially for me,
food is energy, by the way.
Huh?
Food is energy.
Boost energy.
You don't
What?
eat. You're running low on energy. Food gives you energy. That's what it is.
Yes,
Food is
yeah.
energy. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He
I think he said,
slurred
who
like
is
a-
energy? I'm like, what the-
Is this Jeopardy?
because like for me, when I'm leaving back from Moncton, it's like an hour and a half drive, right? So like if I don't
Yeah.
have anything in the tank when I leave the field, I'm just driving. I'm just like heads going back, heads going forward, like heads go, like you gotta have something in there, and it just helps. So granola bars are hidden in my tool tank box for when I or others forget. Good to know.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I
Good to
do
know.
eat a lot of granola bar. Yeah.
I
I like
usually
granola
keep
bar.
a granola bar for the boy, so it never hurts to have one extra for yourself, right?
Yeah. So yeah, definitely plan that, and that's like, and I think Tom, you and I are pretty much on par with each other for this. That we're no longer shy about being like, well, I've only been here for 2 hours, but I'm done. Fuck this. I'm not like I'm going home.
If I'm not going to beat the shit out of my body on a Sunday, if I'm not enjoying myself, like plus
No, you know,
35 weather, kiss my ass. I'm going home.
Right? Like
Sorry,
it's like I've come
not doing
out.
it.
I'm not having fun. This is not enjoyable.
It's not a paid gig. You can leave anytime
Right?
you want to.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Like
And,
you're a customer at a field. Just play for a couple of
Right.
hours. You don't owe anybody anything, and you go home.
Exactly, man.
Yep.
I enjoy hanging out with my friends for the time I'm there, but if my body has had enough, my body has had enough, and it's time to call it a night.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
haven't played since
that's
D-Day, by the way. Since June 3rd, I've hurt my back. I'm not gonna go play.
well, no,
What?
right?
I played
I want to recover.
the Joust. That was the last time I played.
Saving my
was
energy
today.
for Westega. That's what I'm doing.
Well, we're already
In-
in
you-
July.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun, baby.
Yippers.
Then time flies when
July
you
is
work 2
done.
jobs. My days are blurred, man. Blurred.
Well, you are growing up,
Wow.
my friend.
Yeah, it's temporary though. It's only temporary.
It's only for
Couple of
another couple of
months.
years.
Yeah, only a couple of. Only got to make it to 65, and that's assuming there's a Canadian pension waiting for me at the end of it. Because at the current rate, there will be no pension left. 3 weeks till Wasaga. Holy Christ!
Yep.
Is it 3 or 4? Four,
I think
right?
it's
3.
4. No, yeah, 4. Closer to 4.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I took the whole week off.
I'm
Nice.
Being
so stoked. It's gonna be so much fun.
Hey,
we're gonna
Jennifer
have a great
Montressor
time.
just popped into the chat.
Hey, 3.5. See, Blair's got it. Blair's got our back.
3.5. Is Blair repping that event?
I hope so.
No idea.
You know, I've shot referees before.
So have I. I don't feel
I
bad about
shot-
it either.
I'm
Only the
pretty
ones
sure
I
I
like.
shot Wiley during the tournament last week. I feel bad, but I don't because it's Wiley. But God love him, he took it in like a champ.
I've been in the situation where like I've been duking it with somebody and the ref is standing in my way and I'm like, hey ref, hey ref, I need you to move, ref, and I just shot him. I was like, can you please move?
Put one by his feet. He'll get the hint.
All right, so
Or you're gonna have a pissed off ref. Take your pick.
Hey,
Yeah,
Bob,
whichever.
is Outlander a MacFed only event at Georgina? If you can help us out. I've heard about, I think
Yeah.
that's Jesse's event, isn't it?
hazard of the job is what he says. Yep. So
It is. Refs and photographers get shot a lot. Just don't shoot the cameras because
don't
I've-
shoot them on purpose if you can help it. I don't. I have shot a photographer by mistake because the only thing I could see was their head, and I was like, and they were surrounded by a group of players. So I like, cool. So pop, snapped them on the side of the head, and then they held up the camera. I was like, ooh, my bad.
man, that event
And
I
on
wanted
that-
to go, just can't do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, we're
Shocking
pretty much
bombshell.
at the end. So, folks, thanks for hanging out with us. We've got
Thank you.
18 seconds to go. So,
getting
Led,
15,
thanks for
I'm
coming on,
hungry.
man. And for everyone
Anytime,
who's been
guys.
chit chatting with us and in the comments and liking and sharing all that jazz. Truly appreciate it. Listen to us live on 97.9 FM CHSR. Come find us on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. And thank you for listening to us on the Glorious Radio. But that is it, folks. Until next week, cheers.
Toodles.